Hello everyone, welcome to episode 18 of Unbridled. Yes, we've made it. Thank you very much to our kind sponsors, BoyleSports. We're in Paddy Towers. Where else could we be when you've got the Paddy Power Stayers hurdle to look forward to? Nice gaff, Pad.
Think so.
Were you a good punter when you were a jockey?
I wasn't a punter.
That's a nice old gaff. It's got gates.
Yeah.
Gates with a code. It is really nice. We're at Paddy Towers, everyone. And day 3, of course, 2 big races, Pad. And you've won them both. Ryanair Chase, Grade 1, Imperial Commander. The Stayers Hurdle, Grade 1, Ingles Triever. One gave you much joy. One was miserable. But away from all of that, 2 of the biggest races in the calendar.
Yeah, 2 fantastic races. And 2 very good horses. I remember them like they weren't that long ago. Imperial Commander and the Ryanair. Yeah, that's when I first rode him to win in the Paddy Power. But I think all the steps towards winning the Gold Cup, this was a big one when he won the Ryanair, beating Viper Steadis. And English Triever, if there was ever a horse that felt like he was like a human, he loved the occasion. He loved the noise, and he loved Cheltenham. He was a hell of a horse.
First question though. Are you okay? I've had dozens of messages since Tuesday afternoon. Because obviously you had the initial disappointment of Lossiemouth not running in the Champion Hurdle. Then you said Brighterdaysahead would win it. She did complete, but she was absolutely awful. So I do have to ask, are you okay?
I'm absolutely fine.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Michael Buckley on Tuesday? Because Buckers did send me a text and he did say to me, Chappers, obviously disappointment on Tuesday, but still looking forward to that dinner. Might be getting something out of this Champion Hurdle situation. He said you hadn't been in touch at all this week, which seems surprising.
Yeah, no, I thought I'd stay lie low there till we got that race out of the way, but I'll be in touch with him tomorrow probably.
Okay, so the news then to everyone is Paddy is okay, but the rest of us are still waiting to be fed, which is disappointing, I think. We're going to go through the big races on Thursday. This is day 3. And we're going to look at one of the big ones first, and then we're going to go through the rest of the card in order. We're going to start with the Paddy Power Stairs because, of course, we have Paddy with us. Not that Paddy there. Teahupoo, the defending champion, who's only run once recently, home by the Lee, who has to have gates in the right place, otherwise he gives up the running. Lucky place, the Wall Park, and Langer down with his old ulcers. I suppose we have to start with the defending champion, Pat. I mean, I don't think anyone could say that on paper this is the greatest Stayers hurdle of staying horses of all time. Teahupoo is rated 164. It's not a crazy high rating or anything. I mean, do you think he'll take all the beating, or are you worried about ground for him?
Yeah, obviously we move on to the new track for Thursday. And the ground, I thought they'd done a good job on the last couple of days. The water, it looks to me like it's just perfect ground. I don't see any complaints, and I don't think it'll get in the way of Teahupoo winning or losing. But Matt, you can't knock his form. Like, he was only beaten by Lossiemouth, and she was really impressive in the mares. And having a good look through it and think about if there's one horse, bar him, I would pick out, it would be the Wall Park. Another horse of Gordon Elliott's. I just think he could finish real strong up that hill. And they're the 2 I like.
You good with bubbles?
That's my little kid's bubbles. Can you not waste them, please?
Yeah. Sorry. He's better than the lion. You give me the dud. I just saw these. They look. I actually thought they were alcohol, but they turned out to be bubbles. I mean, what's going on here? So, hold on. What are you? For people who are listening in on Spotify now, Paddy and I have got 2 little bottles. Mine, I think, is empty. But they're the
Matt just can't do it. He's blowing too hard.
Well, that's not what usually happens. But anyway, right, okay. Teahupoo. I'm worried about Teahupoo.
What are you worried about?
I just think that he's vulnerable on this surface.
Yeah.
He's not that much far of everything else. And I would hope there's something in here that might improve. Home by the Lee, you could argue, is in the form of his life. It just depends whether that form is really good enough.
And they're really sweet on him. They have said he's better than ever. So look, it's a cracking race, and one I'm really looking forward to watching.
I've tipped up Lucky Place, so that will be my selection. A number of reasons. He's unbeaten this season. He's only had 8 races in his life, so he is totally unexposed. He's never run at this trip before, and I think he's going to absolutely love it. He was pretty much brilliant at Cheltenham last year when 4th in must have been the Coral Cup, the big handicap. Remember, Henderson horses were absolutely awful this time last year, yet he managed to finish 4th. He's got a verdict over the champion hurdle heroine now, because he beat Golden Ace at Ascot in his first run this season, however spurious that link might be. And the other thing is, of course, he's Nicky Henderson and he likes drying ground. He was going to go novice chasing this season. Nikolai Chastel de Boinville insisted that he stayed hurdling, and he is very confident he will stay. And for me, he's the horse as well, because I don't see a lot of pace in this race, not a lot of front runners.
No.
He's the one who has been running over shorter. It's going to travel, not like an Ingles Drever where you have to get it going. I think Lucky Place is a great each way.
And then, look, your point about the ground is massive. It will be decent ground and he will love it. But I'm sure something will go on. Teahupoo might have to make it himself.
Yeah, I couldn't have Mystical Power. I couldn't have Langerdan. I think they've run that in the wrong race.
Well, definitely not Mystical Power. Langerdan might like it, but is he good enough? I'm not so sure.
So I'm Lucky Place. You're going to stick with
the favourite,
Teahupoo. So I'm joined by Gordon Elliott, who hopefully can tell us that Brighter Days Ahead is okay today. Gordon?
Yeah, look, she's a little bit stiff behind, Matt, but we scoped her, she was fine. We got her heart checked, she was fine, but she is a little bit tight and not right behind. So, look, it was heartbreaking yesterday, but it's one of them things, we'll be there for another day.
When she comes back next season, do you think she'd be a chaser or a hurdler?
I'd say we'll be going chasing now, definitely.
Yeah. Chasing in the future, and what kind of distance?
Look, I think I need to trip, you know what I mean? She'd stay 3 miles, you could run her over 2, but listen, we'll start her off probably in the middle distance, see where we go.
And finally, Gordon, on Thursday, it's all about Teahupoo for many in the stairs hurdle. He's been off the track a long time. Why doesn't he run very much?
Look, he's a horse that runs well fresh. That's the role we went for him last year, so we decided to do it again. There's nothing wrong with him, he's in good form. Probably, I'd like a little bit of rain. That's the only thing I would say. But he's in good form. We're happy.
And final question, just I was amazed when I looked up. I think he's only actually run over 3 miles 3 times so far. So in many ways, he's quite unexposed at that trip.
Yeah, look, he ticks a lot of the boxes for that type of race because he's very laid back. So we're looking forward to Thursday.
Thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, Matt. Thank you. Thanks.
Right, we kick off with the race I like to call the Dawn Run Mares Novices Hurdle, just because I love Dawn Run. But of course, the first race on the card is officially called the Ryanair Mares Novices Hurdle. But let's hope none of these have got extra baggage, because I think the favourite or likely favourite in this race can take the world of beating 6.5. Quality flat horse, third in the Aris Zarovich, now goes hurdling, unbeaten in 1 start. I just think 6.5 looks really good.
Yeah. Just seeing here, Patrick Mullins actually rides Maureen, and Paul Townsend rides
Townend,
sorry.
Andy Townsend, Paul Townend.
Aurora Vega, is that right?
What?
Aurora Vega. That's what Paul Townend.
Aurora Vega, yeah,
rides.
We'll go with that, yeah.
But I'm going to stick with Jubilee Alpha here, Matt. Being a fan of her all the way through.
You have?
I really have. And, the faster they go, the better. And I think with the likes of Diva Luna in here, they will go fast. That will, if there's nothing to make it, that will make it a good test. And I think it's got a big chance in what I think is a very open race.
Yeah, I know that the Joseph O'Brien team really fancy Galileo Dame. And of course, Maureen is related to Fahim the Machine. Never offered to Rich Ritchie Maureen. Patrick Mullins on board.
You would have thought Paul had the choice there, wouldn't you? And
Possibly,
he's chosen one that's...
Patrick Mullins would be similar to you in the saddle, wouldn't he? He had similar style.
Yeah, what's that?
Sort of bouncy booty.
I was more compared to Luke Morrison. I think he's a good jockey, so I was okay with that.
That's almost the first time on this show that when I've said something, you've looked at me and I thought, he's really not like that. The comparison with Patrick Mullins, he has not appreciated that. Suddenly, and I've been waiting for it, I think I've just had the look that 1 or 2 other jockeys in the weighing room have had over the years. Right, we'll go to the 2 o'clock, second race on the third day. It is the Jack Richards Novices Limited Handicap Chase. One thing I noticed in here, a few chains around, particularly to do with John Joe O'Neill and Guerrero and Greenall, as far as Jaguar and Co are concerned. The horses have switched around a little bit their races. It means that coming into this race now is Springwell Bay for AJ and John Joe O'Neill. Favourite is probably going to be the Nürburgring, who I really fancied in the hurdle last year. Didn't come up to scratch, but ran on from off the base. Firefox is pretty consistent, but you kind of know he's beatable, is my opinion. Asian Master, Springwell Bay, a bigger prices the rest. I'm going to shock you with my selection in a moment. But first of all, I'd like to know what you fancy.
Yeah, just looking through it, I do really like John Joe O'Neill horse, Springwell Bay.
Yeah.
I know it's got a lot of weight, but class act. Pick Rock was another horse of Ben Pauling's. We've been speaking a lot over the past few weeks. So for me, there would be my two. Springwell Bay was always a case of where he was going to run. They've chosen here, and yeah, Matt, if you're looking for a graded horse, I think he's one.
It's great. I don't know if the camera actually catches this picture out here, but look at this
picture. It's a painting.
It's a magnificent painting. Look at this. Look at you, Pad. Look, you go. You loved your celebrations, didn't you?
Did you? I loved that. It's one of my favourite pictures.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Imperial Commander. That's the Gold Cup, because you went like that because of the Denman Corto thing.
Yeah, I planned it for ages. I planned one on Q card as well, but I didn't need that celebration, Matt.
Yeah. Absolutely fantastic.
Always planned a celebration. Many weren't needed.
Anyway, sorry.
Hey, put your cushion back on.
I think I may have...
Anyway, you've got one
I've moved the furry thing on your stool.
Yeah, don't keep it tidy. You said you've got a selection that's going to shock me here. Come on.
Coolwell Potter.
Oh, Matt. Soft ground, Matt. What part of that's good?
Yeah, you see, you could say that, but when he absolutely bolted up at Punchestown in the bumper there, early on in his career, it was yielding. It was also yielding at Nace when he got beaten in a bumper. I just don't know if he absolutely is a muddler. You might be right, but all I do know is that he is a Grade 1 winning hurdler in Ireland who is only rated 146 now. His form, remember, ties in with Springwell Bay and all the other horse it ties in with? Django Bay. Now, yeah, that Coolwell Potter was a hot favourite to beat Django Bay that day. It might just be that the handicapper has not really got a grip with that race's form, because Springwell Bay's come out and won really well since. Django Bay's won the Arkle, and Coolwell Potter now comes in here off 146. Now, Springwell Bay is rated 154, £8 higher. When they ran at Cheltenham, Springwell Bay carried 11.12 and Coolwell Potter carried 11.9. So he did give £3, but I just think that Coolwell Potter, who's going to be around 14, 16 to 1, is too big a price for a horse with that rating. Now, obviously, on everything we know, it's potty.
Yeah.
This is a horse that isn't worth what he cost. But it's Nichols Cobden with a horse. I don't know. The handicap market's too tempting for me.
But
doesn't tempt you.
As well, Matt, if this horse did manage to win this race for the late John Hales, he'd be worth every single penny. So,
any race at Cheltenham.
No, I'm just saying for his value.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly, if he wins this race on the year it's been, he become a very cheap. You're not a cheap horse, but yeah, you're not, as much as I knock you down for saying it. Of course, he's a great Grade 1 winner. He has a chance, but I just think ground could be very important to him.
And not just ground, distance. I don't think any of us know really what distance Coolwell Potter wants.
Paul Nichols has said himself he doesn't know. So if he's struggling, how do any of us else? We'd be able.
To be honest, though, there are a number of trainers who struggle, and I think, well, I do know the answer to that.
Anyway, there we go.
Yeah, let's move on. Right, okay, the 240 is the Pertemps Network final handicap hurdle. And it was this time last year that Jericho de Repine pulled up in the Supreme Novices Hurdle, and Nikolai Chastel knew that he was going to have a horror meeting. Jericho de Repine looked absolutely awful when he came back on his return. He looked a little bit of an eye-catcher last time. Will the Wise, win some, lose some, first of a dance, and D-Art are all fancied in here. None of those will be my selection in this race, Pad. But where did the pin go here? I do think this is a bit of a pin job race.
I love Jericho de Ropane. Is that how you pronounce it?
We'll go with that.
I love it. I think he loved the ground. Exeter, I think, was soft enough for him. And I just think, this will have been the plan. He's got a lovely weight, 11.6. And like we said before, Matt, this isn't a race where you can really, I've often raced horses where they might have had a stone in or stone well in, or just don't see one like that. If there's anyone lurking, it's this horse. And I think he's got a massive chance. Looking through a lot of the others, Paul Nichols has got one in here called Henry
the
second. That may as well start now, Matt. Loves heavy ground. No chance. There's a reserve, 25, long draw. If that did happen to get in, I'd give that an each way chance. Ollie Murphy.
Sean Byrne and Ollie Murphy. The one, I think you're right. I don't think there is anything chucked in this race. I mean, look, they've done everything they can to try and stop people having horses that are chucked in. Therefore, I'm going for a horse who's the opposite. He's basically too exposed. I know he's not really good enough. He's currently rated 133. He's gone up a few pounds for winning last time. But before I give you his name, he stays forever and he will relish running at a strong pace. And that, Paddy, is you and I's favourite dream. One big bang. James Owen, Jamie Brace taking off the 5. This horse has run in some good handicaps this season. He travels well. The ground, I think he would prefer it softer, but I don't think he's a mudlark as such. I just like the fact he stays. There are there are unexposed horses in here from the point of view of trip that might improve for the trip, but he will be staying on up that hill.
And a big, big ride for Jamie Brace.
Exactly.
And has James Owen had a festival winner?
No.
It's a lot, for them it's a big day. And
went close in the champion hurdle, mine. Burdett Road.
Yeah, and big chance in the triumph. So, look, wish them both the best of luck. But for me, Nicky Henderson, JP McManus and Nico de Chastel de Bonva.
Yeah, that's the champion hurdle that you said Lossiemouth would win. Right, we go to the 320, which is the Ryanair Chase. And I actually think this is an absolute belter for lots of reasons. Factor File against Ile Francais, defending champion Protectorat. And you chuck in Jello and Jungle Boogie, who travel well in the Gold Cup to a point last time. Envoy Allen, whose Cheltenham Festival record is 1 fell 312. In fact, 1 fell 312. Hartwood's no mug, and Master Chewy was impressive in victory last time. I really like this race, Pat. I did speak to AP McCoy this week, and I got the feeling they really fancy Factor File. But the slight drop in trip, I think they'll ride him forward. I don't think they're doing any of the hold-up stuff anymore. And they just think he'll go and win this.
Oh, there'll be no need to hold the reins in this race, Matt. Because that LS France,
LA Francais. If you are looking for a different horse in this race, it's LA Francais.
Matt, you talk about tactics and you talk about race. He'll make this a very, very easy to ride. Race to ride for Protectorat, Factor File. It's simple. He'll go a gallop. You follow him. You got to go within your comfort zone, but not let him get 20 lengths clear. I do think it's between the 3: Factor File, Protectorat, and LA Francais. Great race, one I'm really looking forward to. But if you ask me to pick the winner, Factor File.
If I asked you to put on the Arga, would you be able to do it?
No. I can put that.
It's a beautiful piece of kit.
I can put that hob. Yeah, it is, Matt. Kitchen. You work around the Aga. That's me Ferrari there.
It doesn't sound like you work around the Aga.
I do put that hob on there when I want beans on toast.
You sounded like Martin Pipe now. No, Pipey. Not everyone knows this. So Pipey has a thing about processed peas, so that when Martin Pipe goes to a restaurant, however fancy, he will take a tin of processed peas and ask them to cook the processed peas with his meal. Has the thing about it.
Right.
Not everyone knows that about Martin Pipe. And he likes prawns as well.
Oh, I love prawns.
He loves prawns.
So which one are you going with?
Because I'm just walking around the kitchen. Because I was thinking, like, if you were doing that show, who lives in a home like this? And I'd say, like, a jockey who's won a few quid. That's what I would say. Right, let's move on. I've lost my way slightly.
What
Where do we get to? The Ryanair?
Yeah, which one are you going to pick?
Okay, another horse that probably would prefer a bit more cut in the ground.
Yeah.
But I don't see much wrong with the defending champion Protector.
No.
He was brilliant at Windsor. He's finished third in the Cheltenham Gold Cup, which is more than any of these have achieved in their lives. I just think that he's a really good horse. His Windsor run suggested that even at the age of 10, he is as good, if not, well, he's not better than ever. He's about 4 pounds below his best. But he's just right up there.
And he's in serious form.
Yeah.
Serious form.
My only worry with him is when he won last year, he could not have done anything better. You know, most horses you think he could have jumped the third better.
Yeah, everything went right.
But every fence was pinpoint. And you kind of know that never happens 2 years in a row.
No, but when you've sometimes got a track like that he loves, he could do.
Skelton, take a look at this. Take a look at this. That is Harry Skelton's eye.
Yeah, I knew nothing about this, and we do text each other, so he's kept that a secret from me as well, but he's looked a very lucky boy to be riding.
He's had about, well, we just showed it, but I just think he's probably had about 10 stitches.
Very, very lucky.
Horrible. Horrible. And he's a good-looking jockey.
Is he?
Yeah. Isn't he?
Oh, I don't know. I don't look at them as if they're good or bad looking, man.
Well, you know Harry Cobden's a good-looking lad, isn't he? He's in Tatler.
We don't need to tell him that. I see you doing him modelling shoots.
That's what I mean.
Is he a jockey or a model?
I actually don't know.
Well, can you get back to me on that?
He might be making more money at the modelling. Okay, you've taken me down the route now. I need to go further. Right, let's play a game. Jockey or model? Keelan Woods.
Oh, jockey.
It's such a good game. Now you see where I'm coming from. Okay, Nikolai Chastel de Bonville.
Definitely not a model.
It has to be one or the other, or neither.
Well, I'm not. I can't.
You can say
I'm not,
neither.
I'm not going to say jockey. Neither.
Neither. Nikolai is neither. Brian Cooper.
He's a bit of a looker, isn't he?
He was voted Ireland's sexiest man as a teenager.
Wasn't looking good when I was
Sportsman.
sticking him to the rail in Kempton. Go on.
Okay, let's think of someone else who's more interesting. Sam Twiston-Davis.
Oath.
You fancy the looks of Sam and he's a jockey?
Yeah.
Do you?
I do, actually. Yeah.
Sean Bowen.
Sean Bowen's an interesting one because he's a very good jockey. So we'll go with jockey.
But he's never going to do a modelling shoot, is he? Not unless it's some, well, I don't know what, hair loss magazine.
That's my de-stressor, Matt.
Okay. James Bowen.
Oh, yeah, he's a model.
He's got hair, hasn't he?
But yeah, Matt, we got to move on from this. But you know, you're either a model or you're a jockey. Imagine I walked into Jim Bulger's and I'd done a modelling shoot the night before. He told me to get back home. That's a fact.
What magazine were you modelling for?
No, I'm just saying if I did.
Oh.
I see a lot of this modelling.
We're in the realms of fancy.
Yeah, I see.
This is like Lossiemouth winning the champion hurdle.
I see a lot of this fancy modelling, shoot, look at me. You know, you're either a jockey or you're a model. Stick to what you're good at. Are you a model?
The 440 is the Trust to Trader Plate handicap chase on Thursday. I've long been a Jaguar fan. It's going to be one of the market leaders. I just think it could be absolutely chucked in the mid to late 130s. Travels like a travelly thing on the snap. Wouldn't be your type of horse you like flapping about, but it would be like a Paul Carberry, sit still, travel. Any thoughts? Because there's a bit of silence there, on-air silence. Ginny's Destiny could be well handicapped now for 149, I thought.
Masaccio is a horse that's, I'd say, been targeted this race for quite a while.
Alan King, Tom Cannon.
Ginny's Destiny was one I sort of thought maybe, but then I went against that one slightly. I just thought Masaccio liked the ground, likes the track. Yes, I get your point with Jaguar. Obviously got a big chance, but I'm going to go with Masaccio in a very open race.
I tell you, he's well handicapped again now, Il Rodoto as well. He'd be a massive price, but he's just the kind of horse who pops up in a race like this.
Yeah, I'd say he's already popped up, Matt. When they pop up in a Paddy Power or whatever meeting it was at Cheltenham, very hard for them to win two of them. Very hard. You get your day in the sun, and normally for the rest of the season it's cloudy.
The Kim Muir ends the card, and the horse...
Oh, man, I like one of this.
This is only one we're waiting for, isn't it? All day you've been waiting for this, like Lossiemouth in the champion hurdle. Johnny Who's the one you're looking for?
Johnny Who.
Yeah.
Johnny Who. What a name. Isn't it?
I mean, it's a good name.
It's Johnny Who.
Yeah.
I love Johnny Who. I tell you, Derek O'Connor being shipped in. Great jockey booking. I thought he was an eye catcher at Windsor when he finished last at 3. I thought, yeah, he's got a big chance.
What bit of that run did you find eye-catching?
I thought it was just a good race, and I thought he was...
The in-running comment for Johnny Who that day is raced in 3rd, hit 3 out, soon outpaced, eased running. What kind of bit of that was eye-catching?
No, I just thought it was. I just thought a better ground at Cheltenham would suit him. What do you like?
I mean, Johnny Who was a hurdler who looked like he'd be a really good chaser. But he's not only been awful.
What's his stallion?
What's his stallion?
Stallion, yeah.
His dad is Caliphate.
Right.
He only cost 25 grand, 25 euros actually.
But, we've seen races the last couple of days, and as much as we go and try and pick on this horse, it's not just as simple as he's going to go around and jump fences and win. It's a good race, but that's it's one of my better bets of the meeting.
I thought he was sexy earlier in the season because they ran him over 2 mile 3, and you're kind of thinking, hold on, this is a 3 mile plus horse. So, hi, we found one here. Run him over the wrong trip. No problem with that at all. The connections can do that. But then at Windsor, he was awful. But it was quite a good race, although Larry's Bar has run terrible since, and Jinko Blue actually hasn't completed since. So I don't know what the form is quite worth. I don't know. If he wins, they're just too clever. Because on paper, he looks awful.
I know, but just on turn in the spring, bit of better ground, bit of Cheltenham, they can all come together.
And it's JP. I like Midnight Our Fred for Johnny Flavin. He's quite a good man, isn't he?
Brilliant. He was on. I watched something on him today. It'd be a brilliant result. Lovely lad. He used to ride over here. Used to ride a bit with him, and be lovely. There's been a few good results the last couple of days, Matt, where it's not always the biggest player in the game that's winning. So it's lovely to see. Yeah,
Noel McParlin takes the ride. He's perfectly capable, Mr. Noel McParlin, and he's pretty consistent, Midnight Fred. The one thing we know about him, he stays strong, and he'll run to the line. I think he's got a fairly decent each-way chance in that Fort Warren Kim Muir Challenge Cup. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is episode, I think, what did I say at the start? 18. 18 of Unbridled. Unbridled every day this week, and I just want to say from me and Paddy, thank you so much for everyone who's watching. I have no idea how many people, obviously once a week, loads. I didn't know if we get any viewers just doing individual days. Tuesday was an absolute smash up. You seem to love that show. So really, thank you so much. Thank you to Tony Mullins who came on as well. He was a legend as always. Smoker. So I hope you'll enjoy this one. This was episode 3. Mainly, this was a show about Lossiemouth and Paddy, and no dinner still. When are you going to right this wrong?
When are you going to wrong this right?